The case of, is it even a case? Yeah, it's a case. The case of Dr. Honorable Judge Hlophe. I've thought, because I've done a lot on it. I've done a lot and I've spoken long about the unfairness. And of course I've proven that the authorities that be, people who are pursuing him, the DA, and they're being unfair on the man. And I got into trouble for doing that. I got into trouble because I wanted to show the example of how Dr. Hlophe is mistreated, but Dr. Wouter Basson wasn't. I compared the two. I showed how this man is not allowed to practice, even though he did not do anyone. But Wouter Basson is allowed to practice and is still practicing today. But being that as it may, I don't want to talk a lot about that because when I did that, I was banned. I was banned for a week, and I'm still serving the sentence even today. But I was just comparing the two doctors, and I don't want to go further. So, Dr. Wouter Basson is still practicing. This man, and I'm going to use soccer analogy as always. So it's almost like you are banned from playing football and that's what you do. You make your living with. You are banned from doing football, but as you are banned from doing football, they don't want you to be a commentator. They also don't want you to be. They also don't want you to be an analyst, an agent. They don't want you to be a coach. They don't want you to do anything involved with soccer. And even if you want to leave soccer and go and coach cricket, they don't also want you to do that. This is exactly what the DA is trying to achieve with Hlophe. And this is the unfairness. You know, you can agree with a lot of things that MK is doing. I said it when we were coming to the elections, that what the ANC is doing to MK is not only unfair, but it's breeding animosity. Like, for example, Dr. Hlophe, let's talk about the impeachment. Dr. Hlophe was impeached because, and I'm always struggling to use this Nguni word, but what in essence he was saying is, I think this thing is out of my hands. It's sitting by you guys. This is what Hlophe said. Iselugnina. And I'm sorry if I butchered that phrase. So, but this is what he actually said. And there was many years of debating if he was influencing judges, he was influencing lawmakers by using that phrase. Well, even if he were, I don't think there was any other pressing influence that he made, because he was a judge president. They thought he's over-imposing, he's overreaching, and so finally he was removed politically. Well, of course you could say, because the allegation was a political allegation, maybe the politics happened. I could not think of other judges who have done political stances, but to assume that judges are not political people, it's very naive of us. We just don't have cases where we could prove that apartheid judges were involved in the politics. But we know, we just can't have the proof, because the powers that be was protecting them. But for Hlophe, so let me give you an example. What they want is, because Hlophe is in parliament, and I want you to listen to this. Hlophe is in parliament. He cannot be a regular parliamentarian. And how did I come up to that? Because they say he can't sit on the panel where judges are selected, are going to be interviewed and asked questions and participate there, because he was impeached. So, in essence, what they are actually saying is, and this is where I'm worried, what kind of laws are we working with? This man, qualification to be on that panel is for him to be a member of parliament. That's his qualification. For him to qualify there is for him to be a member of parliament. Julius Malemas is there, by the way. So you want to tell me that in South Africa, someone who's a judge president, who was a judge president, someone who's got so much knowledge, and I said there's no one in parliament who's more qualified to sit on that panel than Hlophe. I mean, even I don't think even the DA people could argue that there is no one who is more qualified to sit on that panel than Judge Hlophe. Of course, they can argue that he may not be, what's the right word? Neutral. Neutral is the word that they use when they when they want when they are afraid of being held accountable, because that's what they will claim. But that man qualifies more than anyone in South Africa. There's no parliamentarian who can sit on that panel who's more qualified than him. That man has spent many years understanding those laws, and who's the best candidate to sit there. Is he conflicted because of politician? Yes. But show me anyone in parliament who's not conflicted. There's no one. And in fact, this thing just shows you that even in your job interviews, wherever organization you work from, the panelists are conflicted because they're looking for a certain candidate that they want, and not what the organization needs. So it means, of course, that this person that they want, they are afraid that he will be exposed by who? The master. Because essentially, Judge Hlophe is the master here. He is the master. He is going to control they fear him. They fear him. I still don't understand. Let's say, for example, well, we're talking about Glenis. Glenis is not the most polished person of the law. She's not. Glenis Bertenbach is a delinquent. Well, I'm not even sure if I'm using the right legal terms now. But she's not perfect. She has a clout over herself, and that means that she, if you want, I think to advantage, she wasn't impeached, and impeachment is the only thing that draws a difference between her and Hlophe. But even with the impeachment, she's still way less qualified than Judge Hlophe. And there are people who get angry when we call him Judge Hlophe. Well, he's Judge Hlophe. He's Judge Dr. Hlophe. Live with it. If it hurts you when we call him Judge Hlophe, live with it. Because he remains our judge. He remains the people's judge. It's almost the same thing as if the politics gets involved and they want to take out Advocate Dalimpof. He'll always be the people's advocate. Because he's our advocate. Whether he's EFF and Hlophe is MK, we don't care. Those people may not fully represent our interest. But it is their ideals that we as African people believe them. We believe in them because we don't have any other people who we can trust, the people that we can point as heroes. We only have those guys. As far as jurisprudence is concerned, they may not be the best of the best, but at least they represent us in the majority of cases that they pursue. and we know you hate them because of that. And the issue here is, let's wait, let's see. Even if this process does not produce the person that we want, as South Africans, okay, not as South Africans, as South Africans who are Pan-Africanist, we see the injustice meted against Judge Hlophe based on his participation. Mashani Political Incorrect, please tell me how you feel. Are you going to believe, or are you going to have trust in a process that the best candidate to the best panelist was removed? Because this is what is happening. They are removing the best panelist. Are you still going to have the same trust when a candidate is produced from this? The next 2 weeks are going to be very important to see. They just made a spotlight out of it. Let's watch and enjoy. Thank you. Mashani Political Incorrect.